Hey everyone, Hassan here. Welcome to the world of Ha. Today I have another Marvel related video for you. We're continuing the Marvel Studios The First 10 Years line of Marvel Legends figures, and we are at the Avengers now. I know we skipped some movies and stuff. We're not getting sets from every single movie, but some of them throughout the first 10 years. I mean, there's like 20-something movies. They can't make sets for every single thing. Well, technically they could. They've actually done a lot more than I thought they would, but that's besides the point. As we're continuing these reviews, the image is slowly, growing and growing, and I love to show the image as it continues. We had the Iron Man movie, Captain America, the First Avenger, and now we are at Avengers. There's Iron Man and Loki facing off right there. Iron Man and Thor, the Captain America suit, lots of cool little scenes from the movie, and it's just going to continue to grow from here. So let's jump into the actual figure here as I throw those boxes off to the side. We have from the Avengers the Iron Man Mark VII suit right here. And so this is, again, from the Marvel Studios The First 10 Years line. So let's take a quick look at the box, as we always do. On the side of the box, you have a brief little plot synopsis of the movie. So you can check that out. The side of the box has the poster for the movie as well, and a little bio of the character from this set in particular, which is Iron Man Mark VII. This is number 3 in the set, as you can see right here, and we are continuing to go through them, so definitely excited about that. So, without further ado, let's get this thing open and take a look. Alright, I got the figure out of the packaging, here it is, and this thing is really cool. I actually really like this figure. I have a couple of different Iron Man figures that I've gotten over the years, one of which, I don't know if is this from Iron Man 3 maybe? The gold makes me think it's from Iron Man 3. I was not a big fan of this figure. I don't know if it's just mine, but look at the way the foot is twisted. Like, he just looks so weird and terrible, even just trying to stand up. It might just be the one that I got, where the foot's all bent like that. But just didn't give me a good experience. And I do prefer this suit design more, and I think this figure is so much better as well. I actually have a figure from the Avengers movie in the smaller scale size that Marvel used to do, and I really liked this one. I love the shiny glossy paint that they used on it. The articulation is pretty decent for this little figure as well. I thought this was really, really cool, and actually this is where I started getting into Marvel figures, is with these smaller scale, and then they stopped releasing them. They do have other smaller scale ones now, but they're in a different size class and they're just not as good and more cheap looking. So I miss these figures, but I do have to say this is a great and equally, as good representation in the typical larger size class for these figures, and I'm pretty happy with it. I think it looks really cool. So let's take an up close look at it. Let's take a look at all the details that we got here. So we're gonna zoom in. So we got the classic Iron Man helmet right there. The blue eyes glowing, looks really, really cool. Certainly looks pretty great. The circle arc reactor chest right there, of course. So that looks pretty nice. I do like that this paint does give off a little bit of a shine to it. It's not like metallic-y. It's not a metallic color, but it still gives off a bit of a shine that you can definitely see in the light. And I think that looks really cool. I think they did a nice job with it. And the details on this thing just make it look like it's coming to life. All the little moving parts and right down to in between where the knee joints are here. I think they did a really nice job right in there too. Like, really cool. And then the back as well, I'm pretty impressed with what they did here. They did more than I thought, especially because you have some moving pieces here, which I was not expecting. So yeah, I'm actually very impressed with this figure. I think they did a really nice job. So let's take a look at the articulation and all the cool things that you can do with it. So the head does rotate all the way around and up and down a little bit. The shoulder pads bend a little bit, so it allows you to rotate the arm all the way around if you would so choose. As far as actually rotating it upwards, It does not appear to rotate upwards, as far as I can tell. I don't want to break it. Sometimes the joints are really tight, so I might be wrong on that, but I also just don't want to break them. So that's a little bit of... Oh, no, actually, no, it does. This one is just really tight then, because it does move. There is a joint here. That's why I was like, it has to move up. It's really tight. I don't want to break that, but it does move up a little bit. You do have double joint right here. And again, I like how you have like the gray pieces underneath it, which make it look very mechanical and everything in how it operates, which definitely adds to the look and feel of the suit. This whole arm piece can rotate around as well. The hand piece does rotate around and move up and down. It actually is removable. Actually, it doesn't move up and down. It just comes out, which is why it looked like it moved up and down. But there are swappable hand pieces, which we'll get to later. But same thing applies on this arm as well. Then this whole chest piece does rotate around and move up and down as well, side to side a little bit. And that is it. This bottom part does not rotate. This is all one piece. The legs move apart, forward a little bit, back a little bit. This whole piece does rotate as well, like that. You do have double joint right there. So good range of motion there. And then the leg does move up and down and side to side all the way around. So lots of range of motion there. But what I was not expecting is what you're going to see in the back here, which is these little pieces, which fold up and out a little bit like that. Now they do come out pretty easily, but they're also pretty easy to attach back in. Good or bad, because like this piece kind of just falls down a little bit, so you sort of have to keep it propped up a little. But I believe, if I remember it correctly, this is just kind of functioning like when he's flying around, he sometimes like slows down or speeds up, and so these pieces move up and down to like regulate that as well. So that's a nice little added touch that they had to this figure, because I fully was expecting this to just be one piece in the back there. And if you want to leave it that way, you totally can. But I like that added little touch that they did. It kind of makes it a little more dynamic. You know, so if you sort of have him as if he's like flying, like he's got these little pieces up and he's ready to go, like that, just it adds a little bit more flair to the little figure there. So that is certainly a nice little touch. But yeah, one of the classic poses is him shooting the laser and everything, and so I think you can definitely have some, like, if you just even just like this looks great. This is a dynamic pose. Just the way that the legs bend, the arm bends, like it just feels like a full suit that's kind of operating and moving. Like it comes to life is what I'm trying to say. And I think it just looks really nice. And of course, you do have some effects pieces right there, and swappable hands. So you have one fist and one open hand, and then you have the alternate as well. So if you want both fists or both open hands, because you do have two effects pieces, I'm just going to plop this in right here just as an example. But yeah, I mean, just look at that. That right there is pretty cool. You know, just having him firing like that. I'm actually just going to bring in the Iron Man, or the Tony Stark figure from the first set as well. Just kind of cool to have this. You can even sort of try and have like a dynamic pose. Oh, he just fell. But have you know, him firing his laser here. If I can get him to stand up again. And let's see if I can try and replicate it. It's not going to work super well, but like, you know, like almost like a mirror image of like Tony Stark and then Iron Man in front or something. I don't know. You can come up with some cool poses if you start to collect a bunch of these figures. So I think this is great. I think if you're a fan of Iron Man, this is definitely one to pick up. This is one of my more favorite suits. I know they've had so many different versions of it, but this is so classic. Looks great. Doesn't overdo like how when they did the suit that was like more gold. I mean, it was cool looking, but I do feel like this is a bit more of a classic design, and certainly looks pretty great. So yeah, definitely go check it out in stores. This is the third set from Avengers. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought of this set as well. Thank you all so much for watching. I do have lots more Marvel Legends reviews on the way, so stay tuned for that. Thank you, and I will see you later.